I think most anime today feel kind of the same once you've watched enough of them. You already know what's coming, fast pacing, big power moments, someone shouting their goal in episode 1. But then there's Witch Hat Atelier, and it doesn't follow that rhythm at all. It feels slower, quieter, almost like it's not in a hurry to prove anything to you. And weirdly, that's what makes it stand out. Because instead of trying to grab your attention, it kind of waits for you to meet it halfway, and when you do, it feels completely different from everything else you've been watching. And when you finally manage to cope up with the story, the characters unexpectedly breaks apart in split seconds during a scene, throwing you off to another storytelling. Silence is the real power is one of the biggest reasons Witch Hat Atelier feels so different from most modern anime. In a lot of shows today, silence is treated like something to fill. There's always music building tension, characters talking, explanations layered on top of explanations. If nothing is happening, it often feels like the story is waiting for the next big moment. But in Witch Hat Atelier, silence isn't empty at all. It's doing work. When a page lingers in a quiet moment, someone carefully drawing a spell, watching ink move, or just observing a small detail, it's not stalling. It's teaching you how to look at the world of the story. And because there's no rush to explain everything, you start paying attention differently. You notice shapes, gestures, expressions, the way magic is constructed instead of just activated. That's where the power comes in. Silence creates space for understanding. It forces you to slow down enough to actually absorb what's happening instead of being carried by constant noise. And emotionally, it hits harder too. Because when a quiet moment does break, when someone finally speaks or something changes, it feels more meaningful. There's weight behind it because the silence built it up. So instead of silence feeling like nothing, it becomes a thing that makes everything else matter more. That's why in Witch Hat Atelier, silence isn't just a style choice, it's a storytelling tool, and arguably, one of its strongest forms of magic. In a lot of anime, magic is treated like raw power. It's about who's stronger, who can destroy more, who unlocks the next form first. Magic becomes a shortcut to dominance, something you use to win fights or reach the next level. But in Witch Hat Atelier, magic feels closer to a skill you actually have to learn. It's not just, I can cast a spell. It's, do I understand what I'm drawing? Do I understand what this symbol actually does? Do I understand what could go wrong? That changes everything, because suddenly magic isn't about flexing power. It's about precision. It's about patience. It's about making fewer mistakes, not bigger explosions. Even simple spells feel meaningful because they're built step by step, like learning an art form. You don't just become strong overnight, you slowly start to see differently. You notice details, you respect rules, you understand that breaking them has consequences. And that's why it hits harder than typical power systems. Because when magic is a craft, growth feels earned. Every improvement feels real, and every mistake actually matters. So instead of watching characters become overpowered, you're watching them become careful, thoughtful, and aware. And honestly, that feels more magical than power ever could. It feels different because it's not trying to compete in the same way most modern anime do. A lot of today's anime are built around speed and impact. Get you hooked fast, show you something cool immediately, escalate every episode, and keep your attention locked with constant movement or power shifts. The focus is often on intensity. Witch Hat Atelier goes in the opposite direction. It doesn't rush to prove itself. It doesn't rely on constant action or big emotional spikes to keep you watching. Instead, it builds its world slowly, piece by piece, like it actually expects you to spend time there, and that changes how you experience it. First, the storytelling is observational rather than explosive. You're not just told what magic is, you watch how it's drawn, how it fails, how it requires care and understanding. That makes everything feel more grounded. Second, it respects quiet moments. In most anime, silence is a pause between important scenes. Here, silence is part of the scene. It's where meaning actually forms. Third, nothing feels rushed, including character growth. The main character doesn't suddenly become talented or overpowered. She learns in small steps, and those steps actually matter. You feel the weight of progress because it takes time. And finally, the world itself feels lived in, not designed just for plot convenience. It doesn't bend around the protagonist. It exists independently with rules, history, and consequences. So when you put it all together, it feels different because it's doing something rare in modern anime. It's not trying to impress you every second. It's trying to make you notice. If you like this video, please watch this next video or hit the subscribe button for more Witch Hat Atelier videos.